Hello guys, welcome to BarChat episode number 5. We've got a lot for you today. Got our usual team in place. I just need to bring them onto the screen. Oh, here we are, chaps. So everyone should be here, and we've got a special guest. We'll get that in a minute. We're going to carry some of our usual valid points, including mainly football. We're going to touch on some rugby and, of course, some F1. And get you all in the mix. Are we all right, chaps? Rooney, can you hear me? Matt, can you hear me? Are you boys there?
Can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, no problem.
Lovely. Matt?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. No problem at all.
Brilliant. Lovely. Well, our special guest today, new father, another Manchester United fan, although down in London. So, I mean, this is just another plastic Manchester United fan. You know, we've now got 2 of them on the show, Rooney. Rooney's a Liverpool fan, by the way. Bradley, how are you, Bradley? How are you, mate?
Yeah, all good down here, mate. All good.
All good.
Went to see Man United on the weekend at Fulham, which was great. But, yeah.
Well, we'll get into that one at the moment. In a moment, we're going to touch on last week's games. Obviously, the main game last week was City, Chelsea, which they came from behind. We'll touch on the Arsenal game against Wolves and the disastrous VAR. We're going to laugh at Spurs because it looks like they're in a relegation fight. We're going to touch on some other shifts, Rashford and so on and so on and so forth. I think the first thing we have to do is we have to thank our sponsors. Madry, there you go. I've got to turn my glass so I can see them. So thank you to Madry and to the Easy Breeze. We are live, guys, on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitter. Although that is looking like it's being a bit slow on that one. So, but we're definitely live on Facebook and YouTube. So do comment, like, and share. Anyone can jump in at any point. We already have a comment, actually. If Everton and Leicester can beat them, then Spurs are shit. I agree. That's good. Thank you, Ian Connor. I'm glad you've waded straight in. But, boys, so let's get straight into it and let's not mess around any further. We had a good weekend, I think, on most fronts. Brad, you just said you went to the off camera. You were just saying you went to the United Fulham. Good match. Happy? Are they moving in the right direction? Are you an Amorim fan, or where'd you sit?
Yeah, I'm definitely an Amorim fan. Moving in the right direction, probably not. Probably if we are, it's going to be a snail pace. But no, the game was pretty underwhelming. I think the first shot on target was at the 67th minute.
Thriller.
So both teams, to be fair, weren't really at the races. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, we can get behind Amorim and get a few better players in, and hopefully return to the top one day in my life. Well,
have you signed the left back? Is he actually? Matt, do you know? Is he in, or is that a completed signature?
Apparently, I heard he's medical today. I believe Dorgu. That's it.
What do we know about him? Anything?
Nothing at all. You Brad, do you know anything about him?
No, I'm just hoping he's United's Doku, basically. But I think he's a different type of player, left back. So I'm not too sure. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we shall see. We shall see. You had a good result of the weekend, mate. A bit of a thrashing of Ipswich. Happy with that one?
Yeah, I was happy with the result. Good performance. Annoying that we let a goal in. What was in 90th minute. But we always do well against teams that want to play football. It's the low block that kills us and the fast ball in the corner to expose where we acknowledge we got issues at both fullbacks. Expected win. I think you're right. Thought Ipswich would come and try and play, which they did for the most part. But good result.
Well, their manager will always, Kieran will always go and try and attack, won't he? And like you say, he's. They were talking about him for the England job, weren't they? In fact, when they were talking about United job before your guy got, and he's obviously got a talent. So Tottenham guys, they went to their 13th defeat of the season. We like that. Where do they start? It doesn't seem to me. I don't know what anyone's opinion on this one is, but with Ange, he won't change for Toffee Does he keep his job? Is he right to still be there? I mean, Levy's not normally very tolerant. Matt, what's your take on that? I mean, they're shambles, aren't they?
Yeah, they're shocking. He's still stubborn and set in his ways, and I know Amorim is as well. But I think it's only a matter of time. I can't see him getting a result at the minute. To be honest, anywhere they go, their confidence is shot to bits. I can't see a result, and it's only a matter of time before he departs ways. So will he last till the end of the season? I don't know.
I read the other day that there are the two who are the two centre halves? They're back in training anyway. So I mean, that will make a big. The spine of the team is basically gone, isn't it? Is his only defence? But for my money, you can't play that way. I mean, I always say to you boys, it's like watching the under-8s, and you can't play that way at this level of football. You can probably get away with it in the Scottish Premiership when you're looking after Celtic, but you can't get away with it at that level. So it remains to be seen what happens with him. Obviously, the Arsenal game, we'll get into the VAR piece in a minute because it's an absolute joke in my opinion. But I just wanted to touch on before we went there, Arsenal bid for Ollie Watkins last night, 60 million, although looks like it was rejected. There was talk of them going back, but that I think Aston Villa have come out this evening and said that's not happening because probably Durán is going to Saudi Arabia for 90 million. I wanted to ask you guys, firstly, what your thought was on Arsenal bidding for Watkins and whether that solves them a problem. And what do you think about a 21-year-old kid, if it's supposed to be the next, the next big thing, going to Saudi at that age? I know it's about money, but surely to God he wants to play top-rate football.
Decent football, yeah.
Mark, I jump in on the Arsenal. I was going to say on the Arsenal point. To me, 2 hours before a Champions League kickoff, that was classless from Arsenal to approach the club. It truly was bottom drawer. And to me, it says an awful lot that almost echoes what Arteta's done in previous windows along with the board. And at the 11th hour, they're chucking fantasy money in left, right and centre. If I was a Villa fan last night, I'd have been well fucked off. And not only that, you flip it. If, for example, you were 2 hours before kickoff and Real Madrid came in from Saliba, you'd be furious. Yeah, absolutely furious.
But I believe
that's why he put the penalty into Rose Ed.
Yeah. And did a John Terry. No, I believe, mate, the reasoning that what do you believe? But I'm told that they got wind of this offer for Durán, which was at the time talked about to be 65 million. So I believe they were putting in, before that was agreed, they were tabling it. I don't understand. I do agree with you. I don't really care that they did it before a Villa game. That wouldn't bother me. But I do think it's very odd that we haven't done anything for 27, 28 days, sitting on our hands and then suddenly decide that we should go for it. Doesn't feel like first choice at all, does it, Brad? What do you think of Ollie Watkins? Would you 29, 60 million? I mean, it shows how
I don't know. I think it makes more sense going in for Durán, a young guy. Obviously, has got a lot of talent. It's just interesting. I don't understand because I mean, how many minutes has Durán actually got this season? I think he's had a few big games, some big highlights, and everyone's gone, "Oh, this guy's good." But I feel like he hasn't played an awful lot. But obviously, the media his highlights go out there, and Saudi pick it up and think that's the guy we want. And the guy's probably from, he's from South America. I don't know what his background's like, but when you get offered that much money, it's probably hard to turn down.
I agree. I understand that. Apparently, they had some fallout a couple of weeks back where he was interchanging between the two of them, and both of them were sort of kind of demanding first team starters football. So maybe that's the thing. But you would have thought, wouldn't they? And I suppose this is what Arsenal were thinking. Faced with I'm going to lose one of them, they'd have wanted to hold on to Durán and sell Watkins just purely on the fact, Rooney, that one's 21 and one's 29.
Yeah, although to be fair, Durán, he's got promise, but most of the damage he's done, he's come on as sub, hasn't he, with 15 to go. That's when he's had his most compelling performances. So I'd say, from the club perspective, can he switch it to consistently 90 minutes or not? I get it. Watkins' age is now at a point where if you can get 60 million, you take it. But let's face it, not going to get rid of the both. They've got no attack. Should they do it? And I don't think they need the money if they're getting the Saudi money for Durán.
Yeah.
Do you think it might be a case of because Arsenal have been linked with Watkins before, and do you think it's a case that? Sorry, say it again.
I was just going to say he's a confessed Arsenal fan, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is, yeah. So do you think he may have? So Arsenal may have been thinking of making a bid anyway, but because they've got wind of this Durán bid coming in, do you think they've then gone, oh shit, we need to act so we can get Watkins before Durán leaves?
Exactly. That's exactly what they were doing.
Possibly, but the cynic in me would say Arsenal do it every window. You know, they try and keep the fans happy and say, look, we're throwing big imaginary pots of money around, and guess what? Nobody's coming in. But let's see.
Typical Liverpool fan. Talking of Liverpool, you're, one of the best paid. This made me laugh, actually. One of the best played managers in the world, Gerrard, left his job today. £15 million a year job on mutual consent, I understand. I mean, is he a manager, Rooney? I mean, what is it? What is all the great players? Why are they all shit managers? I mean, he's not been shit, but I mean, he's not pulled any trees up.
We had a similar chat the other week, didn't we? Probably, I'd say Guardiola was certainly a lot better than average and excellent at taking on in management, but it is a rarity. Like we said, Mourinho never played or kicked a decent ball in his life and won everything. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's ego. I don't know if it's you set off and you've got a much higher belief in your own opinion than your actual capability allows you to have. But it is common. Did it at Rangers, but let's face it, it's a two-team league, isn't it? And I noticed on the odds, he's the shortest price to go back to Rangers, which to me would be having gone to Villa and failed, having gone to Saudi and failed, and go back to Rangers. To me, I don't feel that good move.
Has he failed in Saudi? I mean, can he manage?
Oh, he's been terrible.
Right.
Yeah. And not only that, you think about the cultural differences. The only thing you can say about Saudi is you're going to get tan and you're going to be quids in. As for the rest of it, I'm not so sure.
Well, you're seeing a lot. Right. I mean, yeah, exactly. You saw Henderson, didn't you? Henderson took his $600,000 a week for what was it, about 6 months, and then went, no, this isn't for me. And then he's at Ajax. I've heard he's on the move again today. I don't know if anyone saw that. I didn't see where he's going, but I understand he's on his way out of Ajax now. He's going to Monaco, is he? Well,
but that's the rumor, yeah.
Yeah, not a bad move. Not a bad move.
A little tax haven again for him.
Oh yeah, used to it. So listen, we'll carry on. We'll just touch away from football, and then we're going to come back to it. I just wanted to take your spin. There's a boxing story that's in the mix today. That AJ's next fight is going to be Hrgović. I think he was obviously wanting the Fury fight. We talked about that, Matt. I know you like your boxing more than most, and I think there's no rumours that Fury's coming out. Hrgović seems a risky fight to me. I mean, his last two fights, he lost to Dubois and to Isak. Isaac, he lost in round 8. He's no mug. Is that the right thing, do you think, for AJ to go back? Or does he need to take I mean, the other one they were talking about was Dillian White, which I don't think excites anyone, does it?
It's been and done, isn't it? Dillian White's looking for a last payday. I think for AJ fighting Hrgović, there's nothing in it. There's not going to... I mean, if it did happen, look, I can't see him putting it on pay-per-view. I can't see that happening. I don't think many people will want to buy it.
I mean, any AJ fight, Matt, it is for me going to be pay-per-view. I mean, I think that whether it does really well, I'll take your point, but it will always be someone they're always going to want 25 quid for that.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah. But is it interesting? The only thing that gives it a little bit of jeopardy is, as I understand it, if Dubois fights, who's his next fight against next month? But it's brain's gone. Whoever he's fighting next month, the person that would win that is very likely to get that fight again. So that
Right.
that might be the route they're trying to go.
To me, the division's got problems at the minute, though. You've got Usyk right out there in the front. If you drew it on a whiteboard, then in the hiatus middle ground, you've got Dubois, you've got Fury, you've got AJ, you've got Wilder, you've got Zhang. And then beneath that, you've got the up-and-coming like the Moses Atomos. So there's such an imbalance in that division at the minute that everyone in that middle ground, they're not drawing big interest. They're not. And it's just a phase and a evolution of where they are at the minute in the age of that group, really.
But it's in transition, isn't it? It's like when you go out of all of those, if you like, big ballers are getting into their 30s. The Furies, AJ, they're moving on, and these young kids are coming through, and that's probably the next step. And we're only going to see how good they are when they start getting the big fights. So, it remains to be seen. I think I'm inclined to agree with you, Matt. I think Joshua's at the end of his career. Could you think he could get a world champion again?
I was going to say, I was literally just thinking, he needs to take these risky fights against Hrgovic and Zhang. Needs to have those sort of fights to be in contention for another title fight against what would look at the moment would still be Usyk.
Yeah.
Who is
without those fights?
Who has Hrgovic fought recently? Is there any? Where's he in the pecking order? Or is he kind of floating in the middle there? With
Dubois, but he lost. And Usyk, they were his last two fights. But he also knocked out Zhang. He's a good fighter. He is a really good fighter. But these aren't like 35 and 0s. There's even talk of AJ. What's his name? Turkey Al Sheikh wants AJ to fight Wilder. Is anyone interested in that now?
It's been done, hasn't it?
He's gone.
No. Wilder's run its course out.
Exactly.
The money fight, as we said last time, is Fury AJ. If you just look at pure money, pure British interest, do it at Spurs Stadium, whatever, that's the big money fight. But I think when you look across that middle ground, everyone's nearly there, or has been, or not going to do it again. And the interest level just isn't there.
I agree. Little turn to F1. I know you're keen on F1, Brad. It was an interesting stat that I wanted to bring in. That Hamilton this week, obviously his first testing behind closed doors, has stacked his Ferrari. But the interesting fact that I got out of that was that when he went to McLaren, he stacked his Ferrari. His McLaren, sorry. And then he went to Mercedes, and then for opening testing, stacked the Mercedes. He's now done it to the Ferrari. And on each occasion, he won the world championship. So what I'm basically saying is in 2026, Hamilton will be world champion. Sound realistic to you, Bradley?
It bodes well, that's for sure. I'm not sure, really. I think he's in a good car. It's just you just worry about. You've seen a lot of good drivers in the past try and do the same. Join a new team, and it just doesn't work out for them. Daniel Ricciardo springs to mind. Whenever he's joined, he's had a great time at Red Bull, and then when he joined Renault and just couldn't get going, and then again at McLaren. So you just hope. And when you saw that crash from Lewis Hamilton, I wasn't aware.
Have you seen it? Have you seen the crash itself?
No, I haven't. I don't know how bad it was.
No. Well, this was the weird thing. Apparently, he was going down the straight past the pit lane. So he's going dead straight, and they're saying there was something on the track. He ended up spinning off and going backwards over the kitty litter into the wall. But it wasn't that he got he went too fast into a corner, or so very odd. But he's all right.
Expensive accident sounds like.
Well, I suppose.
No, but I think it'll be very exciting. I think it's kind of Red Bull have pulled back a bit. McLaren are pushing for it. Ferrari will be up there as well. So I think it'll be very exciting.
Well, we were saying last week whether this was a good retirement plan or whether this was a stroke of genius, and I guess it remains to be seen. Do you fancy this season, though? Everyone, the thing points at Verstappen if he can stop swearing, of course, Matt. It points at the but I think you can't look a bit much further than that. You don't really. I always find. I don't know if you find this. You don't really get to know how it's going to unfold until a few races in. You see what the most consistent car is. Or that kind of drives it, doesn't it?
Always aware, but sorry, go on, Matt.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say every team makes a slight change to their car anyway, and different drivers, new cars. There's going to be accidents. There's going to be like a bedding in period, really, for all the teams. Unless even if you've got the same drivers, like I said, they'll make changes to the cars, and good and bad. So who knows what's going to happen in the first few races?
Yeah.
I think I'd say you're right. I do have a funny gut feeling it's going to be more open this year than it has been in previous seasons, but we'll see. I'm intrigued to know if Hamilton's managed to change the iconic prancing horse on the yellow background and red cover to have a rainbow over the top of it, and see if that makes it go any quicker. But we'll see in due course.
Sounds like Mario Kart or something.
Yeah. Well, we will see. The other exciting news this week, guys: Six Nations starts tomorrow evening. France, Wales. I think it's is the opening game. I believe, as we stand, I think we were looking at the betting earlier. Rooney, that Ireland and France are joint favourites. Did we establish that on Paddy?
No, it's a little bit out. France are edging it at the minute, 6-4. Ireland 7-4, so not a lot in it. I think, as most people would expect from the tail end of last season. England 4-1. There might be a bit of value there, because I had a lot of sympathy with Borthwick last year and the way he picked the team up, and his inability of opportunity time-wise to get them playing any different. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out of the traps, I think, this year. But
I think 4-1's a little bit. I think 4-1's too short for England, I think.
You think? Well,
yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. I think there was the calls for, really bring his tenure to a head at the back end of last season, but I think it was right to give him the time, because he just hadn't had that adjustment time. But I think we'll see pretty quickly as it's Saturday night, first game.
Yeah. There's some changes as well. Itoji's now captain.
Haven't we got the first twins ever playing for the England team as well in the same lineup?
What do you think, Brad?
Tom Curry and Ben Curry.
Have you got a fancy, Brad?
I think England will go into this game against Ireland quietly confident. I think Ireland now, without Johnny Sexton, they've suddenly lost their main man, who always came up with the solutions. And I think England will go. England, like you said, last year, Stephen Borthwick came and picked up quite an inexperienced young team. Now they've had a full year together, and some really talented players. I think Itoje's a good shout. He actually plays the full 80 minutes, as opposed to Jamie George coming off about 55 minutes. And that's the sort of section of the game where we always lost the game. It was always the last 10 minutes.
Last year, yeah.
Who was the nutter, the lunatic who used to be the hooker, retired last year?
It was Joe Marler, the prop.
Joe Marler, yeah.
Marler. I remember listening to Marler on the radio, and he basically said, the team, the management asked me to stay on, but I looked at the team coming through and I couldn't do it to myself. He said, there is so much talent coming through these England lines. It is incredible. And he said, it's better than any talent I've played with in England in my career. So this was about 12 months ago. So it shows what he thought he saw coming through. And maybe this season is the first time we get to see it starting to click, really.
Yeah, I think, I mean, all the teams are great. France is so strong, and I think they're favourites for me. I think Scotland were up there as well, but they've lost Tuipulotu, if I pronounced that correctly. He's a big loss. He's their captain and bulldozer, and sort of penned in for the Lions at 12. So I think he's a big loss for them. So suddenly you think maybe there's an opportunity there for England against Scotland. And then between the Wales, I think are just it's sad to see that the teams are so inexperienced, so young. You almost feel sorry for them, to be honest. but no, I'm really
Sometimes
excited.
youth can be a good thing, right? I mean, you just don't know. You just the dark horse ever I'm hearing is Scotland. That's the one that I think people are fancying for the tournament. I mean, again, it remains to be seen what the. Sorry, I've just lost my notes there. It remains to be seen. It remains to be seen where it all goes. We're back in. Sorry, guys. Are we all watching it tomorrow night? Anyway, I think it's on in the pub, Rooney.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to be playing darts against Cons Club A tomorrow night, but it's been called off, so I am available.
Well, I believe it will be playing, so we can get into it. Okay, so we'll get on from there. Listen, we can't move away from the next big subject that's in the market, and that's David Coote, Premier League referee. A very contentious subject, so we'll tread carefully. I'll start off because I'm not going to throw you all under the bus of this one. We talked about it. I was talking about it with the old man actually last night, and I think my feel on this is the question of whether he can carry on as a referee is nothing to do, in my opinion, with his sexuality. Who cares? Doesn't bother me whether he's gay, straight, or otherwise. That's not important. What I think where he's now coming out and talking about this is, I feel it's now about the integrity of him as a referee. I don't know if you've seen the Sky interview that came out, I think this morning, actually, where obviously we know what was said about Liverpool and about Klopp, which, for me, when he talks about in the interview about the utmost integrity and professionalism, and if there's anything that showed no integrity or professionalism, it was what was said. I appreciate that, and very sympathetic if he was struggling, but I think let's not try and control the narrative on that. I think it's very important that we, you can't have favourites. The example I gave to Dad last night, that a man that's born in Nottingham, currently Forester in the Champions League places for next year. If they draw Liverpool and he's the ref, we know what he thinks of Liverpool, and we know he's from Nottingham. When Salah goes down in the box and he doesn't give the penalty, everyone's going to turn around and go, well, we now know what the bloody hell the problem is. Rooney, you're a Liverpool fan. I know you'll have an opinion on this. I know we've got to tread slightly carefully, but we're not covered by Ofcom, are we? We're not covered by Ofcom. Remember, this is unfiltered chat. Yeah, I mean, I've listened to it all on the radio, on the phone-ins and the fors and the against, and yeah, much of it was aimed at Klopp and Liverpool, and there was such a level of bias there. And the video footage that I'm sure people have seen where he was coked off his tits and drunk. I mean, what do you do? Is there a comeback from that when your whole, almost your whole rationale of the role you perform is impartiality and absolute kind of benign adherence to the laws with no bias? I'd be honest with you, I don't see a way back, and I don't think that is being uncharitable. I think he knew at the time exactly what he was getting involved in, and the comments, and clearly, I mean, I said it before, I think the people who've thrown him under the bus by filming that and releasing it need to have a long, hard look at themselves as well. But equally, his mates. Yeah, well, yeah, ex-mates.
Supposedly.
Yeah, but for me, I don't see a way back. I get the way he's come out and he's tried to defend it, but I also feel that when you're on the back foot, does it look a little bit like, well, hang on, I need some sympathy, I need some empathy for me because I now look like
feel sorry for me.
Yeah, and there's a bit of that I don't like. And if they'd have said, for example, I tell you what, I'm off to Saudi, they've said they'll pay me and they don't care. Fair enough. But I don't see personally, I don't see rehabilitation for him in the English league. I think it's right. I think it's wrong that he would get abuse, but I think it's natural that he would get abuse if he started in non-league through League 2, League 1. Fans are going to sing stuff. That's the way it is. And particularly given it's been so public, so vocal, It's just life. He's made critical errors and he's cost that career. And he needs to look at what he does next. And I think he said he's open to educating people on how to avoid these things in the past. And that's probably where he can best throw his efforts at the minute. But rehabilitation for me and readmission to the FA just doesn't feel right.
I mean, it's a bone of contention, isn't it? With, there's not, Justin Fashanu years back, but I'm not sure that he came out as gay when he was actually still playing. It is very difficult. You've got to be mindful of what the fans would be like. It's sad, but it's true. Football's a very male-dominated, tribal kind of fan base, and I can understand that he was reluctant for that news to break, and he would suggest that in his striving that didn't become public knowledge has led to him taking drugs and acting the way he did. But I heard Jim White on Talk Sport today talking about how he would go to a dinner officials with some officials, and he was always there with his boyfriend. No one has an issue with that. I don't know. I mean, I'm with you, Rooney, a little bit. That if he just holds his hands up, I mean, he's saying things like he can't go shopping because everyone recognises him. I'm sorry, I watch football every week. I wouldn't recognise him if he walked past me yesterday. So the best thing I would say to him is keep your head under the parapet here.
He needs to show a stiff upper lip, and if you've seen the size of his fucking top lip. It's massive, isn't it?
Is that the one with the trail of white across it?
Yeah. Have you seen that gap between his nose and his mouth? It's about I don't know, it's about 3 inches deep, isn't it? Stiff upper lip and all that.
Bradley, do you want to chime in? Where's your thoughts, or are you going to sit on the proverbial fence?
I've got to be careful of Ofcom, but
of course.
It's just like, if he's in the highest level of his in his industry, you could say, or in his role, he's at the highest level. So there's just a certain way to behave. So
and he's crossed the line.
He's just obviously, like we mentioned earlier, the guy threw him under the bus. That's terrible. But you can't really. You've got to be more careful than that, don't you? At the top of your game.
I mean, listen, guys. I mean, the other thing about this is there's no smoke without fire. And I repeat that I said this is not about his sexuality. It's about his integrity. What's also still under investigation, which has come out, is that he refereed. Did you hear this? He refereed a Leeds match last year before he was banned in November. And when they're investigating, they found a text that said, wasn't verbatim, but get me with this. Something along the lines of, I told you that would be the result. I hope you were on.
It was something like, did you get on? It was a card, wasn't it? Did you get on it? It was something like that. And it was around a yellow card for a Leeds player who he booked. So the inference was he booked him. And you could probably look back at the footage and say, he should have booked him. But why was that commentary even being had over text? It just looked wrong on every level.
I don't know how that surfaced, but I mean, that's the final nail in the coffin, isn't it, really? Sadly.
Yeah.
Did anyone hear the...
Go, Matt.
Did anyone hear the TalkSport? The first thing this morning was Shaban and Jeff Stelling.
Go on.
So they were obviously given a script, and Shaban was saying like the main story is this Coot interview. Was it this morning or yesterday morning maybe? And Jeff Stelling was absolutely adamant. He said, "I do not give a shit about this story. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not bothered. It's not because he's come out as gay or anything like that." He said, "I do not give a shit. I don't want to talk about it." And Shaban was saying, "But it's our big story. It's our main story.
Talk about it. People do want to talk about it." And he was about it. I did see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, and I thought actually Jeff Stelling was really wrong in the way. I actually thought he's there's an issue with sexuality in the professional football. He's saying, but there shouldn't be, but there is. It's like racism. There shouldn't be an issue with racism in this day and age, but there is an issue with racism in this day and age. Jeff Stelling was really hard with it, and he actually was really rude to Shaban.
Yeah,
I feel
it's like got a nerve, didn't it? It felt like it.
Yeah, really, big time. Yeah,
I think when you look at that as well, I've heard it probably twice over the last 24 hours. The massive delta between women's football and open lesbianism in women's football that is just not reflected on the same numbers or the same transparency or the same openness or the same genuine, what would you say, reality in the men's game. And it just it feels statistically, how can it be so different? But it is.
But it's almost like in the women's game, it's unquestioned because everyone expects it for some reason.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, I certainly accepts it and believes that if you're a strong team playing female and very athletic, that it isn't unusual or uncharacteristic. Yet in the men's game, it's considered. Well, guess what? No men have ever come out and said they live together. A Man City player lives with a Liverpool player on it. It's never been ever been, disclosed, has it? But I mean, statistically, it's impossible.
Brad, you were going to chime in there.
I was just going to say that, you hope there's some improvements going on, because I mean, these days they seem to be picking fans out of stands who are being racist and charging them. I don't know if it's the same with homophobia, but I'm pretty sure I have seen a few headlines where fans are getting picked out for shouting homophobic abuse and being charged. And so, you hope that it's moving in the right direction. But, historically, football's just...
It's tribal, isn't it? It's like, I mean, we just talked about the Six Nations. I can tell you from being at our bar, you get a really good, in rugby... and it's much talked about, clapping players on and off the pitch. There's a respect and there's a thing, and it's not something that's ever been in football. And if someone's got ginger hair or a little bit overweight, or if you're crouchy and you don't look like a footballer, you're there for ridicule, and it's fair game. So what you say, whether it's your, what you look like or the color of your skin or your sexuality, it seems to be fair game. Is that come from the 70s and we haven't really moved on, or is that?
We'd have witnessed that at school. I'm sure certainly as older types would have witnessed all kinds of abuse about ability or hair color or whatever at
school.
You
small cock, mate.
But I would also say you just reminded me of the Crouchy one when he was asked, if you weren't a professional footballer, what would you be? And he said, a virgin.
Brilliant line, Brilliant line.
The thing with rugby as well, though, you get the opposition fans sitting next to each other.
Yeah,
that was like a Fulham on Sunday.
Really?
All
the plastic United fans. I would see the Fulham season ticket holders.
The United fans didn't, to be fair to them, but I was in the Fulham in the nice new Riverside stand, which is lovely actually. But with a few Man United fans behind me. No
animosity, no issues.
No, not at all.
Brilliant.
Any prawn sandwiches, Brad?
No, there was lovely. There was this lovely sort of bacon croissant at half time, which was good.
Free of charge.
Bacon and brie.
Yeah, free of charge.
Well, listen, we had to talk about it, guys, and I think that it's really important that we do, and we can't sit here and say that we have a unfiltered opinion without facing some of these challenging things. And as I started, I'll finish as I started, I should say, in that, listen, if anyone dealing with any mental health issues, and if the guy was struggling and he's very much there, and listen, I think everyone needs the support that they require. I also think everyone's entitled to opinions that sit around, what the issue actually is. And I feel like we've dealt with that one very, very well, chaps, which brings me nicely onto another refereeing problem. And this was obviously around Arsenal. So as a Gooner, it was quite annoying. Miles, Lewis, Skelly. I saw Ian Wright come on the telly or on his YouTube channel and said, and Matt, you'll know this. I know you did a bit of management at grassroots. Is that we've all played, whether you play Sunday football, Saturday football. If you get a breakaways in your own half, every bloke would take one for the team, take the £10 fine if you're son. That is not in a million years a sending off. That's my starting point. Does everyone agree with that? Or I mean, we've all done it, haven't we?
I think he's a filth merchant. He's worse than Roy Keane, Graham Souness, and Peter Reid all rolled into one. That Skelly. It's filth, pure filth. Well, deserved a 6-match ban.
Listen, the reason I bring this up is because, jokes aside, I'm just going to overrule and say it was fucking ridiculous. But what they actually, the first communication that came out with was that because Michael Oliver is a senior Premier League referee and the guys that were in the studio were below him, not, or they didn't feel about. It'd be like telling your boss, mate, I think you've got that wrong. They don't feel like, because of the hierarchy system within the Premier League, that you can challenge that decision. That was my first point I'd like to bring up. The second point that I thought, I heard Simon Jordan say this, and I'd like to get your opinion, was he said, if there is a case of serious foul play, which is what he's determined that ridiculous challenge to be, then with a straight red, then Jordan was saying you should mandatorily be sent to the screen because he's made that sense. So he can show the red card, he goes to the screen and he reviews it. And therefore, because we have this weird scenario that the decision on the pitch stays, right? So VAR can't intervene, which is totally fucking mad, because that's what, in my opinion, what they're there for. So firstly, I wanted to ask, I'll go to Matt, I'll go to you first. The concept of having that mandatorily going to a screen seems to make a lot of sense. Yeah. I mean, where do you stand with this? And of course, the hierarchy with the rest.
Well, yeah, the hierarchy is just ridiculous, because how can you not say something just because someone's got more experience or they've been in the job longer and whatever it is? You can't have that hierarchy,
It makes the whole thing a farce.
Yeah, of course it does, because everyone gets something wrong sometimes, right? Everyone makes mistakes. He now we know, looking at it at the time, even it was he got it wrong. So why can't someone, or like Simon Jordan saying, you've got that wrong, the game stopped anyway. Yeah. Go to the screen quickly. Have a quick. It takes 5 seconds to see.
But what they're saying, Matt, is the tail's then wagging the dog, and by going up for what Jordan's saying is. Actually, what he's saying is, no, mandatorily, I'm going to the screen. I don't need to be told to go to the screen. He goes, no. This is standard. I have to now go because I've sent someone off with a straight red for foul play.
Yeah. Yeah, go to the screen and have a look. Like I say, it will take 5 seconds. You have a look and go, actually, made a mistake. Yeah. Cancel that red card.
You visit the, blah, 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 guys, no thing, yellow card, carry on. Brad, your thought?
I think as long as they can run 100 meters in under maybe 12 seconds and they can get to the screen quickly and back and not cause too many delays in the game.
Your concern is it stops the game?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's another kind of delay in the game. We've already got so many of them with VAR. We've got rid of the lines and things, which I think has sped up the game a bit this year. But
we haven't, have we? Did you see the Champions League last night? Champions League last night, they were making decisions like this. We're still getting the stupid fucking lines out and spending hours trying to decide whether we're going to upset the ref or not.
Oh, I must
we had lines out. We had lines out Fulham Man United when Ahmad's goal was offside. They drew lines in.
Rooney, where do you stand on this?
Well, where do you start? the media haven't covered this, and it fucking annoys me because I don't know if you remember the game, but Liverpool away at Spurs, Diaz got a perfectly good goal that was ruled offside. It was a knob end in the wagon looking at the video, Darren England. Who was a knob end at Wolves, not overruling or challenging Oliver, Darren England? There's a common denominator there. So you talk about tail wagging dog. It should be dog and tail and tail. They should both have the responsibility and accountability for getting the right outcome. Shouldn't be any concept of seniority, but there's a Mr. England seems to be in the middle of all of these problems. And it's interesting because obviously he was dropped from I think it was 2 to 3 weeks after the Spurs one, because I don't know if you remember the stories at the time. There were suggestions that the team in the van were looking at I think it was the Ashes game or the England away cricket game in the corner. So we're all caught by surprise by it. To me, it's not right. The whole thing isn't right. That was a classic example. What was it, 18 months ago now, for them to draw a line under it and say, we really need to look at how this works. The same fellas.
Did you see the news? Sorry, that the Norwegian, I know it's Norway. Did you see this? Division 1, Division 2, all clubs unanimously have said we don't want VAR. Get rid of it. And what game were we watching the other day? There was much more jeopardy without it. I mean, we used to live in this world.
We watched
it was the Arsenal United game.
Arsenal United,
Arsenal
easy
United.
breeze, yeah.
So you live in this world where, sorry, Brad, go on.
No, I was going to say that game was brilliant. It was like a sort of just
old-fashioned,
old school. Old school, yeah.
And no one cared. Everyone just took the ref's decision. There was no VAR, so there's no qualms, there's no arguments, there's no disputes after the game.
There was one bit
a bit easier.
There was one bit in the first half, Mark. I don't know if you remember. Arteta was going bananas when somebody scored, and they were 3 yards offside, and he was going absolutely bananas. So you get the other side of it as well. It just looked ridiculous when you showed it back. There was no VAR, and you look at the level of distance. But yeah, I mean, what do you do? I mean, to me, the whole argument for VAR originally was, England, Germany, Lampard's over the line goal. There was no better example of what video footage could prove and drive in terms of an honest outcome, and it's just kind of grown arms and legs. And
but that's not even VAR, because they've got goal line technology now for that sort of scenario. Yeah.
So use it for that.
Use goal line technology. VAR. I mean, if VAR was on the Man United Arsenal game, then there'd be no penalty. But luckily, our boy saved it, and we won the game, Mark.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I was trying to say, I don't know if anyone's got a phone, because we're obviously live 30 minutes before kickoff United game. Anyone got the lineup there? Anyone got the lineup for United game? And are we happy? How do we feel? Matt,
bear with me, and I'll get it for you now. Okay, so United lineup is Bayindir in goal.
Yeah,
who's in goal? Right, okay, yeah.
Bayindir, yeah. And then we've got Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Martinez as a back three. Right wing back Dalot, left wing back Malacia, with Kobe Mainoo and Toby Collier in the middle. And then we've got Christian Eriksen and Fernandes, and with Højlund up front.
Brad, how do you feel about that?
Not too bad. Whenever I see Eriksen, as long as Eriksen and Casemiro aren't at the pitch at the same time,
they haven't got the legs.
If they're both on the pitch, then it's just not a good feeling. But Højlund needs.
But to be fair, Eriksen is playing further up the pitch tonight, so he doesn't have to have the legs to get back, because you've got Collier and Mainoo in there.
He plays in the 10.
He's playing in. Yeah, he's got Eriksen and Fernandes in a further advanced position. Yeah, top three. With Højlund.
That's quite interesting.
How do you feel about Højlund? I'll point this really at you, United boys. How do you feel about? I think he's only scored 2 goals. I'm going to refer it back to Rashford. I don't know if you heard Ruben Ahmed's comment this week. Where I'd rather play my 60-year-old goalkeeper coach than play a player that's not interested in training. First question. Second question, he said that it's come out that Rashford said, I'm not taking a pay cut. And this looks to have put pay to, I think, AC Milan, Barcelona, and Borussia Dortmund that were interested. Is he? What has anyone got any insight? Does anyone know what's going on? It seems like an absolute fucking shambles. Brad, Matt?
You go, Matt.
Go on, Brad.
You go.
I think, it's a shambles, but Amorim has come out and said,
I respect him for it.
Yeah. He said it's nothing personal against Rashford, but if you're not training, you haven't got the life. It's an expectation for everyone, and it's a rule and for every player. And if someone, no matter who you are, doesn't want to adhere to the rules and expectations that I have put in, then you're not playing. And it's as simple as that. But it's not just. I don't think it's. I mean, it's not like Rashford's been shit up for 4 or 5 seasons in a row, and then all of a sudden he's dropped off the planet of the earth. He's the most inconsistent superstar that we've had for a long time.
But he's got to be able to do better than 2 goals a season with the guy you've got.
Højlund, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, yeah. I'm absolutely losing patience with Højlund. I loved his work rate and his desire, and when he scored, and yeah, he's just like, I love that. But he's not got scoring goals. He can't hold the ball up. It's just everything bounces off him. It may be a confidence thing, but he's just not at the game. He's not at the races at the minute. When we first signed him, I said that we needed to buy him, and at the time when everything was going on, it was Harry Kane that we should have bought Harry Kane and Højlund, so Højlund can learn from Harry Kane. We need an experienced goal scorer.
So would you have Ollie Watkins?
I'd take Ollie Watkins all day long, yeah.
Absolutely.
You'd go, would you, Brad? You'd have him?
Yeah, no, I think, you asked us at the start of the podcast, but Ollie Watkins is a great player. I think he's a good striker. He's still got a few years in him in his prime. So I think any club would be lucky to have him, definitely. And there's not many proper number 9s out there at the moment.
That's the problem. We're all looking for one, aren't we?
Well, the thing is, will it come down? I mean, I think it's a shithouse, Rashford. I really do. For somebody to have that talent and not apply themselves week in, week out, and to come from his background and be on 280 grand a week and have done all these bloody political stunts about cheese straws and school dinners, but not be able to do what he does on the pitch as a primary output every week. It's just disgusting to Man United fans. It's disgusting to the club. And I, as you know, because I've said it on previous podcasts, as a Liverpool fan, I'm a huge Amorim fan. And I'm so glad he's taken the stance he has, which is I'm in charge. You've not just not impressed me in my 3-month tenure, you've fucked the last 4 managers off as well. So there's no way you're getting a look in with me. It's the right stance to take. But I think if he had anything about him as a man, he would have said, I'll tell you what, I'll take a 30% pay cut to get my career back on track and show people what I can do. He's not done that.
To me, that's the next World Cup.
Absolutely.
I think it's a strange way of handling it, though, because I feel like that's just, speaking to the media, using the media as a means of just communicating with Rashford. I feel like that's just going to piss him off even more.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think the media, it goes into the managers have to do so many sort of conferences and stuff and media days and stuff. I think the little there, Mark.
Product placement, mate.
I think the media, he has to do it. The media, one of the first questions they're going to ask day in, day out, what's happening with Rashford? What's happening with Rashford? What's happening with Rashford? And he says, so he's going to come out and he's going, I haven't got a problem, Rashford, but he needs to fucking train better. He needs to train hard. He needs to apply himself. Like Rooney, you said about all these school dinners and everything, and he was golden child and he got so many school dinners for his kids, which is right. This is fine. Use your public platform to get that and yeah, but do it to better the kids of the world, right? and be that role model.
Do it as an ancillary thing as opposed to a primary thing, because his primary thing is getting on that pitch at 280 grand a week and knocking the fucking ball in the net.
But even if he did do it as a primary achievement, and football took he could still perform better than he is. And all these kids that he's done that for, right? And he's rightly done that for. He's fought for them, and kids have hard lives sometimes in certain situations, certain environments, certain areas of the demographical world. He's done a really good thing, and all these kids look up to him. But now they're looking at him and going, "Well, you've set this example of working hard and doing great things, but you're not fucking doing it yourself now." Like, come on, he's cheating. He's cheating a lot of people.
Walk the talk. What you're really saying, aren't you?
Yeah, well, he got the platform. He got the platform to be able to do that through football, and then he forgot about football. He fell out with how can you fall out with that many managers? How can you have a bad attitude with that many managers? And I think Amorim's bang on. Look, I'm not just judging you on what I've seen. I'm judging on what you've done to everybody else. You're the shit house in the camp, and we need you out.
Yeah. How many years left? Is it 1 year?
What's left?
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's more.
I thought it was 28.
I can't remember.
Okay, yeah.
It's painful. I
mean,
think
no one's going to pay his wages, are they? It's just he needs to go somehow. Though it's really bad. It's a bad environment.
How old is he now?
28, isn't he?
But do you remember this? I don't know if you remember about. It would have been 2 or 3 years. Could be longer. When Gareth Bale had that ridiculous deal at Real Madrid, and I think he was on 400-500 grand a week or something.
Yeah, and he played golf for 2 years or something.
He just got to the point where we went, they don't like me, because they all turned against him. And he just, well, fuck it, I'll just take £500,000 a week. And he didn't care at the end, did he? And it does feel a little bit, but then he was in his 30s, I believe. And, and to some degree, you go, I don't know whether you agree with it or not is one thing or another, but you go, okay, fair enough. But at 28, 29 years old, I mean, we're talking about sending Ollie Watkins and spending 60 million on him. He's in his prime. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, though, isn't it? I mean, there's so many kids out there, when you're talking about setting an example, Matt, that would die to play professional football. They die to walk on the grass at Old Trafford.
Yeah. I'll give you an example, right? So my Ollie's 14, and he's at that age, he's that difficult teenage boy age where he just wants to sit and play his PlayStation, and he's not really bothered about homework and stuff. And we're drumming it in. Like, work as hard as you can, get the best out of everything you can. We're trying to use ourselves as role models to get a good work ethic, and like at home, at work, on a football pitch, a work ethic. You don't give up. And one of Rashford's biggest supporters is Ollie, right? And when I see like Rashford, not like all these reports, not trying, not doing this, can't be bothered, not in the squad, and I'm trying to teach Ollie the ways of the world and get this work ethic, and it's so important to get this work ethic. But his biggest idol, other than his dad, obviously, can't be fucking bothered to do his fucking job that he's paid a hell of a lot of money for.
He does know his dad's on every can of Madry in Sainsbury's, I hope.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this, Brad.
Oh, it's gorgeous stuff.
No. There you go. It's basically Matt.
Oh, yeah. So it is. Congratulations, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Mate, will come out in the wash. I actually don't think he'll go anywhere. I don't see that he's going to, and it's such a shame. I can't see that he's going to move on in the next, what have we got, 4-5 days? We even got that. So I don't see he's going to move on. But talking of transfers, guys, it just takes me nice and gently into our little head-to-head quiz that we like to do. And this one is all around transfers, and it will alternate between, the game is called Name the Player by the Transfer. So we don't have any buzzers here that we can have. So basically, you're going to have to stick your hand up. Now, your role in this game, Brad, is you've just got to beat the BarChat team. So you need to see if you can get ahead of that. I'm going to give you the club, and I'm going to give you the year. I'm going to give you where they went, and I'm going to tell you how much they went for. And you have to guess the player. So we're going to start easy. So question mark, Rooney, will you do me a favour? Oh, like an idiot, I haven't got my pen. So I'm going to go to you, the man with the scores on the doors. So we're halfway through. You can go and think. So if you could write a name, Brad versus the BarChat chaps, or whatever, and then we'll see where we get out of this one. So first question is: the club is Manchester United. The year is 2009. The club that bought the player was Real Madrid, and the fee was 80 million quid. I think just Rooney.
David Beckham.
So straight over to you as you get a pass on this, Bradley. Any advances? 2009.
Is it Cristiano Ronaldo? Is that too
It's
early?
Cristiano Ronaldo. First point goes to Brad.
Correct.
I thought it might be too
hell.
early.
Well, Matt's going, fuck, what? Liverpool transfer 2018 to Barcelona. The fee was £142 million. Go on, Rooney.
Philip Coutinho.
Just to redeem yourself. Question number 3, back to Manchester United. 2019 to Inter Milan, £73 million. Go on, Matt.
That was me.
Yeah.
Lukaku.
Yeah.
Lukaku.
Correct.
Very good. Liverpool transfer 2015, Manchester City to Manchester City, 49 million.
Sterling.
No points for shouting out, but I will give it to you anyway. Question again, Man United 2022 to Juventus on a free. Oh,
Pogba.
Pogba it is. Liverpool transfer, Liverpool to Bayern Munich 2022, 35 million. Go on.
Mane
it is. Manchester United year 2006 to Real Madrid, 17 million. Go on, Rooney.
Beckham again.
No, Brad.
Was it Chicharito?
No.
That's a wild shout, actually.
I'll give you a slight clue. Dutch striker. Matt.
Van Nistelrooy.
Van Nistelrooy it is. Liverpool 2014 to Barcelona, 75 million. Matt.
Mascherano.
Over to you, Brad. 2014 to Barcelona, 75 mil.
I was going to say Mascherano as well. Biter. Suarez.
That's the boy. Suarez, yeah. Okay, 2017 to Lyon, 16 million.
From where?
Manchester United, sorry, guys. Man U, 2017 to Lyon, 16 million.
To Leon.
Slightly more tricky, this one. I have got a clue if we're hitting a... Go on. Go on,
Memphis Depay.
Very impressive. Yes.
Nice, Matt. Very good.
So we're halfway through. Rooney, what's the scores?
The scores are on the doors: 3 to Brad, And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the BarChat experts.
I'll be honest. I've got it 3-3 for everyone.
Well, I don't know how. Oh, hang on. Are you counting yours as yours?
Oh, well, I'll
We
tell
were
you
told
what,
to keep mine and
I
yours.
like this. Hold up, although that doesn't account.
So that means that makes it 6.
There's 10.
Yeah.
There were 10 points on offer there.
Yeah, but one
So
we
I've got
didn't
it
get
as-
any of us.
None of us got.
Okay.
So no one's counted it correctly.
Yeah.
So I've got it as 3-3 for. I've got it. We've all got 3 points.
That would sound because we're on to question 10.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't started. Yeah, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 3-3. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll carry on with that one. Liverpool 2009 to Real Madrid for 30 million. Go on.
Too late, I think, but Mike Lowen.
It's not. No. Brad, do you any answers? Any suggestions on that one?
No, I'm struggling with that one.
I'll give you a clue, guys. Spanish midfielder.
Alonso.
Alonso, yeah.
You both shouted out, but I'll give you a point each.
All right. Happy days.
Manchester United 2003 to West Ham on a free. Go on, Brad.
2003 to West Ham.
It's not Tevez, is it? That's the wrong way. I think it was even at West Ham.
He was at West Ham, yeah. But
2003.
2003 to West Ham on a free. Do we need a clue?
Is it a defender?
A fan favourite England midfielder.
It's not.
Well, the only one I think I was Carrick, but he went the other way. West Ham to United, so.
Final clue, he's famous for his viral dances.
Evra.
Yeah.
He's not English.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I thought it was.
viral dances.
Well, we're not going
Jesse,
to kick
wait,
yourself.
what year? Sorry, what year?
2023. Did I say 2003?
Jesse Lingard then.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry, guys. 2023.
Oh,
Jeff Lingard.
Only 20 years out.
That's
Sorry,
why I'm
mate,
giving
no
Tevez.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Liverpool 20.
Wow.
It's a point for Brad anyway. Just remember.
Who was it? Hang on. Who is it?
Lingard.
Yeah.
Liverpool 2021, not 2001. 2021. PSG 10 million. So left Liverpool 2021 to PSG for 10 million.
Wijnaldum.
It is Wijnaldum. Okay, Manchester United 2023, Real Sociedad 9 million.
No.
Go on then.
No, actually, I was going to say Herrera, but that's before, and he didn't go there.
2023, Real Sociedad from Manchester United for a fee of 9 million. Do we need a clue?
Not Donny van der Beek.
No. Do we need a clue?
Not De Gea.
No. Spanish playmaker.
Mata.
Oh, Mata.
Who shouted Mata?
I shouted it.
Brad
Sorry.
shouted it. I put my hand up.
Yeah. Well, Brad, I'll give you that. You know, new to the game. You know, can't be holding it against you. Matter it is. So we got what 5 questions left. Either one of you. Where are we on the scores, Matt?
Well, I've got BarChat on 10 and Brad on 6 at the minute.
Okay, and what's the split?
So I've got.
We didn't do the splits because you said at the minute, right at the outset, you said it was me and Matt versus Brad.
I know we're getting both scores. Just to
I haven't been marking them separately because
making it windswept and interesting.
Okay,
Matt,
I've got Brad on 6. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rooney. I've got you on 5, me on 4.
I haven't split ours, so
you're winning, Brad.
right. 5. Well, I've got 10 collectively, so.
Okay, Liverpool to in 2011 to Newcastle for 25 mil.
Oh,
2011. Liverpool to Newcastle.
Striker.
Hand up. Stan Collymore.
2011.
Oh, yeah, it's a little bit after Stan Collymore, isn't it?
He was with TalkSport by then, I think, mate.
Liverpool to
We are
Newcastle.
live, guys. So any likes or comments, if anyone knows the answer, then do chime in on the comments and see if you can beat these extra.
Liverpool Newcastle. Striker.
English centre forward who was a record.
No.
English.
Well,
It wasn't Owen.
No,
Owen went.
it
Owen
can't have
went
been
to Real
Owen because
Madrid.
he went to Madrid.
Yeah.
English striker who was the club's record signing when he arrived from Aston Villa. So he went from Villa.
Oh,
Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll it is.
Famous
Question number
quote, just a
50,
shit Andy
Manchester
Carroll.
United. Manchester United 2014 into Milan on a free.
what year?
What year?
2014.
United to Milan on a free in
not
2014.
2014.
No, it wasn't that long ago. I was going to say Darmian, but that wasn't that long ago, was it?
Do you want a clue?
Yeah.
Long-serving captain who won the Champions League in 2008.
Carrick. No, you didn't go there.
From Manchester United, 2014 to Inter Milan.
Long-serving captain.
Not Vidic, was it?
It was Vidic.
It was.
Whoa.
Good effort.
Go on.
Liverpool 2017 to Lazio on a free. Tough one, this.
Not Luis Garcia.
No, I'm going to give a clue. He's a Brazilian midfielder. Or he could have been a midfielder.
Lucas Leiva.
Had a Brazilian.
Leiva.
It was, yes.
Well done.
Cheers.
So 3 left, guys. Manchester United 2013 to Everton for 27.5 million.
Rooney.
Carrying
No,
on.
it's the geezer with a big hair.
Fellaini.
Fellaini, that's him.
Other way.
No, he went from.
No, he went back.
Went back.
You remember?
Yeah.
But it
Well
was
done.
it was a 50-50 between you and Brad shouting that one out, by the way. So if you want to give a point each, that's fine. Liverpool 2020, Sheffield United 18 million.
Hang on, going which way?
From Liverpool
Yeah.
in 2020 to Sheffield United for 18 million. Never fucking heard of him. A young English striker who broke into the team under Jurgen Klopp. Well, it looks like a no, so we're moving on. The answer is Ryan Brewster.
Oh,
Who?
yeah.
Exactly.
He was
Never
shite when he got there as well.
Was he
Yeah.
crap?
Yeah, awful.
Okay, Manchester United 2004 to Boca Juniors on a free.
Tevez.
Manchester United 2004 to Boca Juniors on a free.
Tevez.
It's not.
Is he not?
Was it?
2004.
Was he Brazilian? Is he Brazilian?
No, but he is South American.
Not Chikorita. I've already mentioned him.
No. Want a clue?
Oh, Diego Forlan.
No.
Oh.
Argentinian midfielder who played under
Veron.
Sir Alex Veron it is.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So where are we on the last question? Is it close, boys?
We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got Brad on 9, and I've got us on 11.
That's wrong because there's 20 questions. I've still got one left.
I know, but we've missed a couple out, haven't we?
We haven't got a couple.
We didn't get a couple.
Actually, there's been a couple of double points awarded, isn't there?
Yeah,
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Nine plays 11. What do you got it as, Matt? Or have you given up?
I kind of gave up a little bit. 6, 7, 8.
You can't just now make it up because you gave up.
No, I've got it as hang on, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, few for me.
I've got it 9 against 12.
There you go.
What, to Brad?
No.
To the BarChat crew.
I mean, to be honest, it's 2 brains against 1 that aren't doing doubly as good as the 1 brain, but...
There we go. Well, look, the final question, because so the jeopardy is, I think you've already won, Brad. Liverpool, 2018, Juventus on a free. We could do make it double points or something.
Who's this? Liverpool to Juventus?
Liverpool to Juve in 2018
on a free.
On a free.
Position.
What was his position, Mark?
You want the clue? He's a German midfielder who was part of the 2014 title challenge.
God, see his face. He's got a sharp cut, haircut, Turkish German.
Oh, Emre Can.
That's him.
Correct. So there we go, boys. I think you still. I mean, obviously, next week, guys, I'll go back to keeping the scores because
Yeah. Well. What about next week? I go back to asking the questions, and we put you in a bit of jeopardy.
Mate, I'll tell you what. I'll take you up on that, mate. You can do the quiz. You can do the quiz next week.
Let's have it, and there'll be beer forfeits in the pub afterwards as well.
Don't forget, I'm winning the competition 2-0.
Oh yeah, you are.
Me and Rooney.
No, we had forgotten that. We'd forgotten that.
No, I think it's.
No, don't forget. Don't forget that it's 2-0.
It's not forgotten. But well, guys, listen, we've got a lot to look forward to. I just wanted to ask one last question before we all go, because I know United are just about to kick off, and you guys will be wanting to watch that. Champions League draw came this week. Oh, actually, I think I've got it there. Look, is anyone understanding and following this? Are you finding it a bit tricky? I mean, vitally, it would appear to me, top right there, Rooney, that you have basically got Barcelona, right?
Well, looking at that list, I would take Brest all day long if I'm given the option.
Yeah, well, wouldn't we?
Would you now, Rooney?
Wouldn't we all? Yes. There's so many jokes that could come in here. Yeah, so you've got Monaco and Brest playing PSG Benfica. So the winner of those go through to play you or Barcelona, right? So your next game is Barcelona, as I read this. Is that how you understand it?
Yes, but
it doesn't really matter what anyone else is doing. It's the winner of Monaco, Brest, PSG, or Benfica play the winner of Liverpool versus Barcelona.
I think that's the way it works. I mean, it's new ground for everybody, isn't it? I mean, to be honest, having won it, the inaugural tournament, we should really get a bite at the final. That's what I'd have thought we'd have got for all that effort, but not to be the case.
I guess
rewarded probably by having to face the second or the runner-up team in the last 8.
Well, so is that right? The top 2 teams are going to play each other because Liverpool and Barcelona finished. Were they top 2 in the league?
Yeah, top 2. Yeah.
So it seems the only difference is
the higher the.
Brad, I thought it was if you were first, you played 18 because you got 2 people coming from the playoff, right? And if you 16, sorry, yeah, and it was that way. So how is it that I mean this is the latest thing. We need to cross-check this, but I did look earlier on a few sources, and this is how they saw the road in.
I don't quite understand it, to be honest.
No, it is complicated, isn't it? I have to say, I was watching it last night, and and the jeopardy, like particularly with Villa, that Villa got themselves in, and Celtic were touch and go with a few minutes to go, and that bit was exciting, but it wasn't clear, even when he read out at the end, how it would all work. I mean, I know for you Manchester United fans down there, it's not overly important, is it? But it'd be interesting to know how it works. The format on Europa's not changed, is it?
I think the Thursday night Muppet League's still the same format this year, isn't it?
Do they still play the Sesame Street tune as they all come out? Is that, and there's the Muppets?
I was going to say, we got through this podcast pretty unscathed.
Well, this is very true. I mean, actually, the one thing I do agree with, which it always used to annoy me, particularly when we were in the Europa League, and that was that now they have scrapped this idea that if you get out in the first thingy of the Champions League, that you can somehow find your way into the Europa. It always seemed bloody stupid to me. So I'm
it's
pleased.
the same format as the Champions League now, isn't it? The Europa.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because
So you're
fourth.
United. Yeah, we need to draw tonight to qualify without having a playoff.
I think there's just too many games going on there. All the games are kicking off at 8 o'clock, so there's I don't know.
The same as last night. Yeah.
That's what happened.
Same as last night.
Yeah. I think it's just you can't keep tabs on. You can only really watch one game. It's just a bit chaotic, but I mean, it's quite exciting, but you can't really focus on that.
Well, you've got Lazio top, who have basically won all the games bar draw. Frankfurt, Athletic. Who's that?
Bilbao.
Then United, Lyon, Tottenham, Anderlecht. So you've got you should be in good shape. You're on 15 points, played 7. Lazio 19 points, played 7. You're actually not in bad shape there.
No,
I think there's a potential for. I think there's a potential for 7 teams in the Premier League to go through to Champions League next year as well.
Really?
Because you've got the 4 teams that qualify, and then I think there's a coefficient 5th spot. And then if your teams outside of that win the Champions League and Europa, they go automatically into the Champions League as well. So
yeah.
Well, listen, good luck, lads. I'm going to let you go because it's 3 minutes before kickoff, and I know you'll be keen to get your Madry and get in front of the telly. We've got we're working on our plan for Cheltenham, guys. As you all know, we're heading to Cheltenham for Gold Cup Day, so we have some plans sat around that. Rooney and I are working on a big guest to come and talk to us about the Ireland Wales game, and we're dancing all our way to getting that to happen, and so that might be a big reveal that we've got for you. Do you see what I did there, Rooney? And it remains to be seen. Rodders, where are you? If you're watching right now, so hopefully we'll have something on around that one as well. Brad, thanks for coming on, mate. Hopefully we'll grab you again at some point if you can jump on and join us. It'll probably be a week when United have lost or something, so we can have fun. And although Matt wouldn't like that, so we'll go from there. But boys, thank you very much, guys. Big spank again to our sponsors for Madry and for the Easy Breeze. Please like and subscribe and follow us on all the relevant platforms. We've got now a TikTok live, which has got some shorts on it as well. So go there. Means a lot to us. Thank you very much. We've got a very good following, by the way. 14,500 people, I think it ended up watching Matt tell people to fuck off. So, clearly the answer these days is, as Helen Mirren said, my only regret in life is I didn't tell enough people to fuck off. On that note, thank you very much, guys. And we will see you next week, same time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.